Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Today is the March 8th, 2022, 1:30 meeting of the Laughlin Town Advisory Board here at the Laughlin Regional Government Center, 101 Civic Way. Items to read into the record. Items on the agenda may be taken out of order. The board may combine two or more agenda items for consideration. The board may remove an item from the agenda or delay discussion relating to an item at any time. No action may be taken on any matter not listed on the posted agenda. All planning and zoning matters heard at this meeting are forwarded to the Board of County Commissioners Zoning Commission, otherwise known as the BCC, or the Clark County Planning Commission, known as the PC, for final action. Please take a moment to turn off or mute all cell phone devices and electronic devices, and take all private conversations outside this room. Within 48-hour advance request, a sign language interpreter or other reasonable efforts to assist and accommodate persons with physical disabilities may be made available by calling 702-455-3530, TDD at 702-385-7486, or Relay Nevada toll-free at 800-326-6868. Supporting material provided to the board members for this meeting may be requested from our secretary, Tammy Harris, at 702-298-0828. And often you will find materials at the back of the room that pertain to today's meeting. Supporting material is or will be available at the Clark County Department of Administrative Services, 500 South Grand Central Parkway in Las Vegas, Nevada, and also available on the county's website, clarkcountynv.gov/Laughlin TAB. Your board today, I'll go ahead and do a roll call. Pamela Walker. Here. Herman Walker, no relation. Here. Fred Doughton. Here. Kathleen Haas, Vice Chair. Here. And Kathy Oakes, your Chair. All 5 members are present, and we do have a quorum. Our Secretary is Tammy Harris, and her number is 702-298-0828, and she can be reached at her email, which is Tammy, TAMMY.Harris, HARRIS, at clarkcountynv.gov. Our county liaison here with us today is Mark Moskowitz, and he can be reached at 702-298-0828, and also at 702-455-6173. And his email is mark.moskowitz, MOSKOWITZ, at clarkcountynv.gov. This is our call to order, and if I can please have you stand for our invocation given by Pastor Doug Wesley and our Pledge of Allegiance given by Kathleen Haas.
Oh, you're such a good group. We're so grateful to have you in Laughlin as our board. We were truly grateful to have you. It's like we have a wonderful police department. We have a wonderful constable who's here today. We have a wonderful fire department. We're so blessed to have all of you. We really are. Let's pray. Father, take this meeting today and give them the wisdom they need and all that they need to do the decisions that are proper and right for Laughlin, the citizens of Laughlin. We ask your blessings on our fire department, our police department, our constable's office. These are all fine people. They're all excellent people, and we are so grateful for them. Today is the day that the Lord has made. May all of us be grateful and enjoy it. Amen.
Amen.
Please salute our flag and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. We've already commenced with the roll call, so I'll move forward to public comment. And this is a period devoted to comments by the general public about items on today's agenda. No discussion, action, or vote may be taken on the agenda item at the public comment section. You'll be afforded the opportunity to speak on individual public hearing items at the time they are presented. If you wish to speak to the board about items within its jurisdiction but not appearing on today's agenda, you must wait until the comments by the general public period listed at the end of this agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium here, state your name and address, and please spell your name for the record. We are recorded, and it makes it easier for Tammy to have the correct spelling of your name. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of presentation, this can be done by the chairperson or by majority vote. Okay. Is there anyone that would like to speak to items on today's agenda? If so, please come to the podium, state your name and address. Okay. Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the public comment for today's agenda and move forward to the approval of minutes for the February 8th, 2022 meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Approval of the minutes for the February 22, 2022 meeting. We did have 2 last month.
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And, of course, approval for today's agenda, March 8th, 2022, and to hold, combine, or delete any items if we need to move anything around. Is there any discussion amongst the board?
So moved.
No. I have a motion to
Second.
approve as written and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Informational items we'll begin with, and first is to receive a report and updates from South County Liaison Mark Moskowitz, please.
Thank you, Chair. Just a few updates. A friendly reminder, Republic Services, they started last week with the Wednesday pickup. Just a reminder, tomorrow will be trash day again. So I haven't heard anything. I think it went smoothly, so appreciate everyone notifying their neighbors and helping each other out with the change. As we mentioned before, Public Works street sweeping wasn't impacted. They were able to adjust their schedule to make sure they weren't running the same time. So all of our services are running the same, which is great. Second thing is just the Fix It Clark County app. I want to make sure everyone's aware of that one. That's a great resource with spring coming around. If there's issues with graffiti, with street lights, stuff like that, it's a great resource to use. And the reason we always highlight it is because once you put something in, it has a case number, and you're able to kind of follow it through as opposed to going from office to office to office. So that's a great resource. As the chair mentioned, there's a lot of flyers back there that's for a lot of good trainings that are being held in this building and in the Laughlin community. So please, everyone in the audience, make sure you grab some of those. We also have Commissioner Knaff's newsletter for the month is back there. That has a lot of good information, and let us know at our office if you'd like to be on the electronic distribution of it. We're more than happy to get you on that. So, and then the last thing I want to mention is the Colorado River and river safety. I know there's been some questions about it. To clarify for Clark County and Laughlin, Nevada Department of Wildlife is the agency that oversees the enforcement and the patrolling of the river. So that means is that it's a state agency. The state agency is obviously above us, so we have good relationship with them. We're able to let them know what's going on, but they are ultimately the enforcement agency, and they are the ones that enforce everything on the river. They also enforce all of our wildlands in Nevada, so they have their hands full with a lot of things. But I want to let the board know, as well as everyone in the audience, we are working with them to set up an opportunity in the coming months to have them come down here and give kind of an update. They did that back in August of last year, right after I started, and I thought that was a great resource to kind of show what they do, who to call, who to contact. They are a great resource. They are a great agency. They rely on the public's input, so if there are issues on the river, they need to know, because just as our Public Works Department with the roads, we have to let people let us know a lot of stuff just because of staffing issues. So I want to let you know we are working. I can't confirm a date just yet of when they'll be here. My goal is next month, but it's just not confirmed. But most likely, I would say 80% they will be here. So, yep, and that's all of my updates.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I know some of the meetings we had with the Bullhead City Council happened before you joined us. I think we had a couple of meetings. I attended, Fred attended, and I believe our chamber.
Yep, and that's correct. And we all understand that it is the Tri-County and we all have to work together. I mean, it's a very unique location that the middle of the river is the state line. But Nevada Department of Wildlife, they're a great agency. Same with Bullhead, with their police and Arizona Fish and Game. They understand that the river is a whole, and they have to patrol it and make it safe for everyone, because anything that happens on the river is both responsibilities. So.
And I do recall Commissioner Knapp went out with wildlife.
Yep.
I can't remember the month that it was, but he
Yeah.
went out with them on the river shortly after that meeting that we
Correct.
had with
Yep.
the Bullhead City Council.
Commissioner Naft and myself, I've been on the river as well, and it's eye-opening. It's very interesting to see just the amount of land that they have to cover, or water they have to cover, and how much. When I was on there, we were pulling people over. We were enforcing, making sure that they had all of their agreements, if it was a rental and all that. So they are doing their job. They are able to provide the statistics, but everybody does a good job. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Let's see, receive a report from, there he is, Lieutenant Rogers, with Metro Police regarding activity and statistics during the past month and other crime area concerns.
Good afternoon, Lieutenant Rogers here with LVMPD Laughlin Substation. Just going to give a report of our stats for last month, and if anybody has any questions, I'll save some time at the end. So for last month, we responded to 290 calls for service, which is just down 5% from last year at this time, but down about 40 calls from January, so it was a little bit slower in February than January. We wrote 239 citations in and around Laughlin. We had 6 arrests for domestic violence and 20 total bookings here at our Laughlin Tucker Holding Station. But overall, crime's doing good, and just kind of keeping an eye on everything and getting ready for the warmer weather. We don't have any events planned for the next month. We are looking still at a Coffee with a Cop update at the community center, so we're going to try to get with our graphics people and put a flyer out. So I don't want to announce a date until we have a flyer ready. That's kind of our next community event that we're looking forward to.
Lieutenant, any conversations yet about River Run?
A little bit. So there are 2 river runs planned, both on the Bullhead or the Arizona side. So I'm just meeting with their chief, trying to see what the numbers are going to look like. I've asked each casino to pay for overtime officers, because we don't have, our police department doesn't have a billable vendor. We don't have anyone to send a bill to like we had in years past, where there was an organizer for the Laughlin River Run, and they collected money, and then we could send them a bill and say, hey, if you need an extra 30, 40 cops down here, someone has to pay for that. So I'm trying to nicely ask each casino to pay for a couple extra cops on that Friday, Saturday night, both weekends in a row. A couple have signed on, and I'm just waiting to hear back from a couple others. So I don't know if that would be something that the tourism division through Jackie might be something that they would want to look at possibly paying for. Just because I think we all know that if all the events are on the other side of the river, everyone will stay on this side of the river. So it will be very busy. And a normal Friday night, I may only have 3 or 4 cops working. So I think that's just not going to cut it for the amount of people that'll be here. So I'm trying to get a little bit of mix, and then also meet with, my chief to see what manpower issues that they can send from Vegas.
Do you meet regularly with the Casino Chiefs Association?
Yeah, we meet
And
once a
that's
month.
where that-
Yeah, and that's where that started. So I have 4 casinos so far that have agreed to pay for overtime officers. I'm just waiting to hear back from the other ones, because usually the security chief for the casino isn't the one with the checkbook, so they agree that they should have officers, but the casino manager or someone above them has got to agree to pay for that. So I think they're in agreement with me that they're willing to pay for it, but they're just trying to, they have to meet with their bosses to get that approved.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we're at, so.
Okay, is there, in years past, have they brought down working canines for that time period or no?
We have, yeah. Well, usually in years past, they'll bring down a patrol, like a patrol canine dog will come down and stay for the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just depends on what the volume, obviously years ago when it was a lot of people, we'd bring down a SWAT team, a helicopter, we'd bring down whatever I guess based on the volume of people in town. So just kind of, it's going to be a little bit of kind of guesswork at this point because we really don't know. My understanding, we don't have any casino yet that has signed on like a vendor's row or like a concert or something like that. I think they're just going to enjoy the high occupancy rate, but all the events are across the river.
I see. Okay.
So, cool.
Any questions from the board? Okay. Thank you,
Awesome.
Lieutenant.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay. And then move forward to receive a report from Clark County Fire Department regarding calls for service during the past month and other fire prevention issues. Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Damon Remley. Can you spell that? DAMONRUEMMELE. And I work at Station 85. Obviously, I'm not the one who normally does this, so I'm not up to speed on what you guys are privy to, so I apologize if some of it's redundant. We've had a little bit of turnover in our personnel, so we've had to lean on the casinos to conduct some of our training with rope rescue. They've been awesome, so I just want to kudos to those guys. Let's see, I'm sure you guys are already aware, but we've secured funding for a new boat at Station 76 and 2 personal watercraft at Station 85. It looks like the personal watercraft are about a month or 2 away from being housed in the station at 85. The boat is going to take a little bit longer at Station 76 because it's being built from the ground up based on the specifications that we designated.
For swift water rescue or?
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. And then as far as calls, we had a slight uptick since the same time last year. We ran 246 calls in February. And that's really all I have for you guys. There's not a whole lot going on the fire side outside of just trying to take possession of the new watercraft that we're going to get at the station.
What do you think is the timeline on the boat?
The
You said
boat?
the watercraft soon.
Right. So the personal watercraft are basically Sea-Doos. We're going to get 2 of those. Like I said, those are about a month or 2 out, and there's some training that comes along with that. So we won't be able to put them in service until we get the training from an outside vendor to come conduct that training. But the boat, we were told it was 18 months at the time of purchase, which maybe it's just a sign of the times, but that was probably, let's see, November, I think.
It's a year to get furniture, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. So, but that's really all I have for you guys. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions from the board?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
And receive a report, yay, from Clark County Animal Control. Hello, welcome.
Pull this down.
Just teeny.
Yeah. I'm Officer Razzo with Clark County Animal Control. It's Jackie Razzo. Spelling of the last name is R-A-C as in zebra O. And I'm stationed out in Las Vegas. We don't have any officers out here in Laughlin, so we have to make the drive out. This is my first time. I just received a handout of numbers I was instructed to read them out to you. We don't have any stats just from the last month. I was provided our stats from the year of 2021, beginning January 1st, 2021, running to December 31st of 2021. And our total calls out here have been 167 for the entire year. And those are for animal fights, bite reports, depriving of shelter, water, confined cats or dogs that we have to pick up from the shelter in Boulder, and any abandonments, anyone moving out, leaving their animals behind, or for evictions, we come out, pick up the animals on the evictions. We also respond to vehicle confinements, any animals left in vehicles, unattended, and stray animals. Any questions?
Sure. Do you consider 167 calls, is that a lot or a small amount? Or, I mean, we've never received a report in 20 years that I know of that I can speak to. So I'm just curious.
Well, I personally don't feel like it's a lot. We probably receive 167 calls in Las Vegas in a month. So within the year, it's not too many. This time last year in Las Vegas, the amount of calls that we received and dispatched for in the month of March was 6,900. And that's all types of calls that we receive. That's just the incoming calls. Actual response calls handled by officers was 2,300. So our dispatchers are great with just answering questions. Sometimes they can be resolved just over the phone, where they don't need an officer to respond. So our dispatchers are great with helping us with that.
Okay. And then any questions from the board? I have a few more.
I have a
Please,
question.
Kathleen.
You can't really compare 167 calls in Laughlin to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you foresee us getting any kind of officer down here in the near future?
That has not been discussed in our department. With that, I haven't heard that being mentioned by supervision. So I'm honestly, I'm not sure if we are going to have an officer stationed out here. But with emergencies where we need immediate response, the stationed Metro officers are out here are always willing to assist us. So they'll respond out to, if it's a loose, fractious dog, they'll come out to keep an eye on it. And while we are en route from Las Vegas, they'll give us updates if the issue has been resolved or if they still need us.
One of the things that has been discussed, I know currently you're picking up from, is it North Valley Animal Shelter in Bullhead City? If there is a stray, it's brought over there?
Yes.
Okay, and there is discussion about, doing a facility in the Laughlin area. And so I think we're working together to kind of, figure out if that can be completed in the future. Direction from animal control, what it is you guys need for a facility, the legal requirements, that are inherent in that. And I believe there's a facility, that may make that possible. So you wouldn't have to go all the way out there in the future.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that would be great. That would be helpful.
yeah, that's a long drive. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll give a quick update as well.
Sure.
I know Clark County has reached out to Bullhead City to do kind of like an intergovernmental agreement so that instead of having our staff come all the way down an hour and a half to get a dog, we can just do an agreement with Bullhead City. The last time, and I'll check into this more, Bullhead City had put it on pause because of their staffing issues. That's what we had heard is where it is right now. I don't know if you have any further update on that, but we would love to have that because then that helps our staff not be, you see 6,000 calls a month in Las Vegas, and then to come an hour and a half, everyone knows it's hard to contain an animal that doesn't want to be contained.
A mutual aid agreement, an
Yeah.
memorandum of
Yeah,
understanding
so
for
we're
mutual aid.
working on that. So
And billable, I'm assuming.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we're, I don't know if there's any update on that, but I know the last time I heard was that Bullhead City said that due to staffing issues, they were unable to do it right now because they didn't want to agree and then not be able to provide a service.
I see.
So
Okay.
we can always check into that again.
Okay. And then there's also a local facility that's available too.
Sure.
That can be
Yeah.
done. Okay. All right. And would you mind, just while you're here today, contacting Tammy and then maybe stopping over at Metro and just giving them the most updated numbers and contact information so we can get that to the public, and then in our updated for our resources directory, and then I know Jackie's not here today, but maybe to the chamber because they field a lot of calls for that as well.
Yeah.
So, and that'd be great because, like I said, I go back to the days when we had Zena was our animal control officer, and she was a wonderful part of the community, and so we all had her personal cell number.
Yeah.
But I don't think you want to give us that. So,
Yeah.
okay.
And they do a wonderful job. I mean, they're really short-staffed, and they cover a lot of areas and deal with very unique situations. So the county and the commissioner appreciates everything they do.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for
Thank you.
coming. And this was to receive a report from Will Smith with Clark County Water Reclamation, and he will not be here today, but there is information on the status of the wastewater treatment system at the back of the house here, or back of the not the house, the back of the government center. Okay. Receive a report from Jason Bailey with Big Bend Water District regarding the status of the water system. Hello, Jason.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Jason Bailey with the Big Bend Water District with a monthly report. For the month of February, total water diversions were 211 acre feet, just slightly down from this time last year. But year to date, total diversions are 431 acre feet, which is slightly up from this time last year. Last month, I reported on some state grant funding that the Big Bend Water District will be receiving for system improvements. Also, the system is in good shape. There's no major leaks or issues to report at this time. So pretty brief report, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board? I think you gave us some information last, and additionally, once the funding does come in.
Yeah, I'll report once that comes in. I believe some of it might actually be on the agenda for the April meeting.
Okay.
There will be a Big Bend Water District Board of Directors meeting in April 5th.
Okay,
So I
just
think-
before our meeting then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be able to report on that.
All right, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And receive a report from Parks and Recreation regarding the status of programs and upcoming activities. Anyone here from Parks and Rec? Haley? Or, I'm sorry, no?
She's not here today.
Okay. And receive a report from Haley Mayo, University of Nevada Cooperative Extension, and she's not with us today. Is there anything at the back of the room regarding the extension? Yuval. I believe at the back of the room there is information on both Parks and Recreation and University of Nevada Cooperative Extension, if anyone would like that information. Okay. And receive a report from Jackie Whalen, the Laughlin Chamber of Commerce, regarding current and upcoming business activities in Laughlin.
She's sick.
And she is sick. That is rare, because I have,
No, she had a concussion, they fell.
oh no, okay.
And he's hoping to get back to work.
I see. So she is out. So we won't be receiving a report from the chamber or from the Laughlin Tourism Commission. Did she provide information? No.
She said she was going to. but-
Okay, but she may not have. If she has a concussion, that's certainly
Yeah.
understandable. Okay. And receive a report from Tanya Brown-Worth, Laughlin Library. And nope, not with us today. And Laughlin School System regarding status of programs and upcoming activities. Oh, we don't have. And announcements for upcoming neighborhood meetings and county or community meetings and events for discussion only. Mark, do you have anything?
The only thing I'd say is from Parks and Rec on March 17th from 12 to 2 p.m. at Spirit Mountain Activity Center is the Senior Center St. Patrick's Day party. So
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day.
it says here there are only 4 spots left, so, and it's $6, and you have to be 50 or plus. So. And they do check
50 or plus?
they check IDs at the door is what I've heard. So but yeah,
Okay.
that's the only.
And then I was just going to add the March 25th Searchlight opening of the gallery
Yes.
that is at the Searchlight, which I'll be attending.
Yes.
And if anyone else from the board, they're opening a Southwestern Art Gallery there. So that's available on the 25th of March.
Yep.
All right? Yep, March 25th. Okay. All right. So if no more information from the board for public meetings, okay. And we'll move forward to item number 7, which is planning and zoning. We'll start first with UC-22-0064, American Legion, post number 60. This is for a use permit to allow accessory structures not architecturally compatible with the existing building, and 2, a design review for accessory structures on 5.1 acres in an RU rural open land zone, generally located on the north side of Bruce Woodbury Drive, 330 feet east of Cougar Drive within Laughlin. This is for possible action, and it is to go to the Planning Commission on 04/05/2022. And I'll go ahead and call a point of order that the applicant is a member of our town advisory board. She is the commander of the post, so that will reduce our, I believe she'll be recused from this, and this will reduce our quorum to 4. So she will be presenting but will not be voting, as it is, something that would be a conflict of interest. Okay.
So if you go to the next page, we have our justification letter. What happened is we had an 1979 trailer that's set at the back of the post, and one of the rainstorms, the roof collapsed. So we looked at purchasing a like item, a trailer, but it was tremendously not cost effective. So we looked at other alternatives, and the shipping containers are now used for businesses, housing, storage. They even use them for swimming.
Fremont Street.
Exactly. So they're used quite extensively in Vegas, even as temporary housing for the homeless. So we purchased 2 of these to replace the loss of the trailer. We don't plan on putting any landscaping in. Something that's being used for storage, in my mind, doesn't necessarily constitute the need for landscaping, as well as the cost and an unnecessary use of a precious resource, our water. So I'm asking that you approve these. If you look at the next page, this is an example of this is where it's going to be. Where it's yellow highlighted, that's the 2 shipping containers. It puts the least amount of impact visually from the apartments behind the post. They will be painted the same color as the post, a desert sand color. And then if you look at the next page, this is an example of what one of them will look like. They've been separated into 4 different rooms, and then the other container is completely open for storage.
And these will be used as meeting rooms to raise revenue for...
No, the auxiliary room right now that we have, the building that's directly behind the post,
Okay,
is now housing everything that was in the trailer.
I
So
see.
we need to get that out of there and into the storage containers so that we can again start using the auxiliary room as a meeting room, renting it out, and utilizing what it was designed for.
Instead of storage.
Correct.
Okay. Was there a staff recommendation letter on this? I missed it, I'm sorry.
Staff recommends approval from planning.
Yeah, I've already paid
It should be on.
the permit fee.
Okay. Yep, there it is, it's on this one. Okay. From the board, do we have any questions of the applicant? If you've had a chance to review. Do I take public comment on this? I guess I
didn't see anything in there.
Okay, I'm just looking at the, for some reason I missed the staff
Yeah, they
recommendation on it, I'm sorry.
did recommend.
Yeah,
I didn't even get it.
yeah, it's in the other.
It's in the other one?
Yeah, it's the bigger one from Tammy.
Oh,
Okay.
I looked at the wrong one.
It's on like the 3rd page.
Yeah, I found it now. I gravitated towards the one and not the other one. I saw one, I figured that was it.
You're good,
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Is there any input or comment from the public regarding this? No? Okay. Any discussion amongst the board? No? Okay. Seeing no discussion, I'll go ahead and call for a motion. Do I have a motion regarding UC 220064, American Legion, post number 60?
I move they be approved.
Okay. I have a motion for approval of a use permit and a design review and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And your motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And moving forward to UC 210753, Clark, or County of Clark Administrative. This is for a use permit for the following. 1, electric generating station, solar photovoltaic facility. 2, electrical substation. 3, overhead power transmission line. Sounds so familiar. 4, increase the height of utility structures. 5, public utility structures within all accessory structures. 6, waive landscaping and screening requirements. 7, eliminate trash enclosure. And 8, allow signage in conjunction with the electric generating station and electrical substation. Also, for waivers of development standards for the following. 1, off-site improvements, curb, gutter, sidewalk, streetlights, and paving. And 2, dedication of right-of-way. Design reviews for the following: electric generating station, solar photovoltaic facility. 2, electrical substation. 3, overhead power transmission line. 4, maintenance and operations building. 5, public utility structures within all accessory ancillary structures and uses. 6, preliminary grading for hillside development, slopes greater than 12%. And 7, finished grade of 10,846 acres in an RU, rural open land zone, and an MD, design manufacturing zone, and an M2, industrial zone, and a PF, public facility zone, generally located on the west side of Casino Drive and Needles Highway, 1.3 miles west of Casino Drive within Laughlin. And at this point, there has been no final action
Correct.
on as of this posting. Did it, pardon? At the time of the posting? Okay.
We're just
So
waiting for the finalized
I'm
conditions.
sorry, I didn't.
We're
have
just
it
waiting for the finalized
for the final
conditions to
notice.
be
This was
released.
what we had in our last meeting.
Yep, yep,
Yes.
yep. So you just have to read on the record.
Yeah,
but there's
read it,
no
read it
action.
back. Okay.
Yep.
And, okay. So item number 8, which is general business, we have none before us. And item number 9, this is comments by the general public. This is a period devoted to comments by the general public about matters relevant to the board's jurisdiction will be held. No vote may be taken on a matter not listed on the posted agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium, if applicable, and state your name and address, and please spell your name for the record. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of a presentation, this will be done by the chair or the board by majority vote. So, please, welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Constable Ross, Laughlin Constable's Office. I apologize, my usual mellifluous voice has not come back yet. It's one of the reasons I'm wearing this. I start talking and people jump out the window. Anyway, I just wanted to let people know I visited the Southern Nevada Health District yesterday, their main office up in Las Vegas. They had sent out a notification to a number of officials, including me, that COVID-19 tests were available in bulk. I have brought back approximately 300 of them. And if anybody in town needs a COVID-19 test, if any organization, if any employer, anybody needs them in their home, you don't have to pay for them. You don't have to register for them. You don't even have to give us your name. Just come by the constable's office. We can provide you with free COVID-19 kits. And I just want to shout out, I want to thank Misty up at the Southern Nevada Health District for having arranged this for us. And that's it. Thank you very much.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to make public comment? And this is not necessarily items on this agenda, but just things within this board's jurisdiction. Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. We can't take votes or actions on it, but we can certainly hear and see what we can do for the future.
I understand your problem. Ralph Perez, Monte del Sol. I'm just want to bring back again the situation with animal regulations and code enforcement. I spoke last time about it. I think we do need somebody here. I think that if we could figure out a way where we can bring those talks back to the table about maybe combining them both, I think if we can get somebody that can do animal regulations and code enforcement on a per usage, I guess, basis, where they can be billed for doing their job at the time that they do their job, not a, across the board paycheck or whatever, just like we used to have before. In other words, somebody gets sent out, they get billed for that, I think we need those people here. I know that you guys do a great job. Thank you very much. But several thousand versus a couple hundred, it's still 100, still 200-300. We had an animal that was here. It was at the park. Metro did go out and get them, but they're not qualified for that. If the animal comes to you, fine, we're good to go. But if the animal refuses to, they're not qualified to chase the animal or encage it, and that poor animal had to sit outside all night because animal regulations did not want to come down that night because it was raining and so on. So I think we need somebody down here. So if we could figure out a way to get those talks back up, I think we have enough people now, in this town to where we can, there's a lot of stuff out there with code enforcement that I can show you a picture right now, and you guys don't have to be experts, but you'll agree with me that that's something that should not be. But how are we going to get code enforcement down there? They're going to come down for a day? How long did it take you to get down here? An hour and a half. So that's cool, but like for instance,
Robert, if you can get closer to the microphone,
Sorry.
because we're
If
recorded,
I-
so we
yeah.
want to hear you.
Sure. So if I call you and I tell you to come down because I got an animal sitting in the car right now and Metro can't get it out, we can't find the owner, it's going to take you an hour and a half to come get the animal. And I'm sure you have a lot of other stuff that you're doing, so you're not going to just drop the ball and come straight here. You're going to have to, schedule it in. What's going to happen to that animal? Same thing with the one that was left in the park overnight in rain, cold. We need to bring those talks. We need to bring those two services back to Laughlin, or bring them to Laughlin. And I think if we do it on a per usage basis, as a needed basis, and we could bill it that way, I think it would be profitable. Because the hour and a half that she took to come down here, now she's going to take another hour and a half back. That's gas, her time. That's an hour and a half that she could be doing something up there. And if you all haven't realized it, gas is going up.
Yeah,
so,
no kidding.
So just
We all
want to
feel
bring
that.
that. Just want to let you all know that I think that we have enough people here now, and I think if we combine them both together, I think that would be a very good resource for Laughlin. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for the idea. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else in the audience that would like to come up and speak? Again, items within this board's jurisdiction, but not necessarily on the agenda. Okay. Our next meeting date will be April 12th. It's the 12th, okay, of 2022, here in this office at 1:30. And I'll go ahead and call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Your motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.